It is absolutely incredible just how much fire damage we have seen just in the last couple of hours that we have been here.
What do we know so far about the investigation? Let's take a look at your screen and see that photo of Noah.
I'm going to show you some video of what the scene was like earlier this morning when we first got here. If you look at Air 7 right now, we're looking at the front of the building where the roof has kind of buckled up. This is what a firefighter saw on his way into work on Orange Avenue. Well, right now I am at 5th and Federal. It's not only the name of the crossroads here, but it's also the name of the restaurant behind me that is now completely destroyed. Crews have made significant progress on what officials are calling a 2-story abandoned structure. I'll step aside so that you can see it. For those of you who are just joining us, the first thing I want to let you know is that there is a large police presence near Patrick Henry High School and that you are being asked to avoid that area. One bus has already taken off, and now just take a look at this. The other 2 are getting to leave right now. Each of the protesters in Richmond today had their own reasons for being here. Again, I want to show you the force of the water, where if I'm standing over here, I mean, that water gets all the way up to about mid-calf, and if I pick up my foot, it immediately wants to take it with me. Well, check this out. This is a piece of ice that fell from our license plate. You can actually see the imprinted numbers from our vehicle right here. It was a little quiet here earlier, but it is loud and packed now. Are you guys having fun? They've already played 5 games and won every single one. So first of all, I want to ask you, Alyssa, how have you guys managed to be undefeated this far? What's the secret? Kimberly, whether you are getting ready together with friends or you really are just looking for a fun date with a significant other, I mean, who wouldn't want the allure of a speakeasy? You have to check this out. How you doing, Ben?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I cannot even believe this right now. I've literally never been this close to a contortionist, moving his body in a way that I have never seen before. So what is next for Pulaski? Well, first up, Crescent City Cafe is a New Orleans-style restaurant that they hope to open this fall. And just across the street, this is the future home of Next Level VR, a virtual reality experience that should open by the end of this year. And this is all just the beginning. And I'm Katey Roshetko. Caitlin Francis and Ashley Ann are off today, so we are holding down the fort. Let's go right to our top story this morning. It's been over 12 hours since police first arrived at the extended stay in Roanoke after a man fired a weapon inside the hotel. And the Bedford County Sheriff's Office is asking for your help identifying a suspect involved in an incident involving several local food trucks. Kellyanne Conway, President Trump's former senior advisor, says she also has been diagnosed with COVID-19. The former Virginia governor spoke highly of the 2 Democratic nominees, now President and Vice President-elect. All right, let's take a look at your hometown forecast. If you're a fan of winter, guess what? It looks like it's still here, right, Christian?
Yes.
You're going to love this story. Students in Roanoke will now have everything they need before the first day of school, thanks to the community's generosity. Now, Kimberly, I'm really excited about this next story because it is all about the Rubik's Cube. And actually, the Rubik's Cube, ta-da!
I brought one.
I brought one. It is one of my favorite toys.
I think Katey should take part in that Rubik's Cube.
I'm trying.
She is running the prompter while doing the Rubik's Cube.
Done.
Voila.
Voila.
Well
Look at
done.
that. I love it. I'll tell you, the secret to this is not about math, although there are probably some math geniuses out there who can do it. It's really all about just kinesthetic memory. I know it is probably a crazy time. You've got 2 kids at home and back to school is about to be in full force. How are you feeling? Oh, man.
Yep.
Almost spilled it out my entire front, but that's okay.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really good, isn't it?
The cream cheese is very surprising.
Yep.
I would never have guessed putting that on a hot dog. Even folks like me who probably have 2 left feet, it seems like they can do this, and you're actually going to show us now some of those dance moves. There are no Christmas lights outside Wendy Webb's house in Roanoke. There's no wreath on the door.
I don't feel no Christmas spirit.
The corner where the tree usually goes is empty.
How can you have Christmas spirit when you can't even do anything to have a Christmas?
Like so many Americans, 2020 wrecked Wendy's world. But her troubles began before the pandemic when she was diagnosed with massive kidney stones and underwent surgery at the beginning of March.
Right after I got out the hospital, everything shut down. Technically, I had no job to go back to.
That was the first time in several years that Wendy had to file for unemployment. Everything was going smoothly until the paycheck stopped coming in July, just a few days after her second kidney surgery.
That really broke me.
At the end of the month, Wendy filed for unemployment again and was told she'd receive her check within 30 days.
End of August came and went. I heard nothing.
And she's not the only one.
We're hearing a lot of people that are having trouble getting unemployment benefits, or it's taking months to get them.
Joe Nelson, director of Total Action for Progress, explained that there's usually a discrepancy or error in their paperwork that has pushed applicants to the adjudication process.
But that process is backed up, and the state doesn't have human beings to process them. And so there really is no way around that other than trying to be really careful when you do an application.
For Wendy, the discrepancy was her employment history, but she didn't know that until 5 months after her application was sent in.
I said, well, when were you going to let me know that? Wherein I could have handled that or fixed whatever issues or got whatever information that you needed.
Instead, Wendy spent months calling and emailing the Virginia Employment Commission nearly every day.
This was September the 8th. I put, can someone help me understand why I haven't received my payments? Please help. Is there something wrong with my card that I'm unaware of?
But never any answers.
You want to give up, but you can't. You got to keep fighting.
But applicants aren't the only ones who have had trouble reaching someone with the VEC. WDBJ7 had scheduled a phone interview with the communications manager for the first Friday of December. But she never picked up.
The mailbox is full and cannot accept any messages at this time. Goodbye.
Since then, we've sent 6 emails to the communications department and tried calling the communications manager more than a dozen times. But to no avail until noon Thursday when we finally got a call back.
The reality is the VEC is working every day. They're bringing on more and more staff, extra staff in all the local offices, but in order to process the claims, they don't have the time or ability to answer all those calls.
Which leaves people like Wendy alone and in the dark.
How?
With unanswered questions.
How am I supposed to survive? How am I supposed to make this work? When all I need is my unemployment and I can make it work.
It was a hot July day, and I was walking down Main Street in Floyd when I got really thirsty. So I decided to go inside the Blind Pig to see if they had any Coca-Cola.
Hello, I was wondering if I could borrow a nickel for a Coke.
Sure thing. We got one right here for you if you'd like.
Oh, perfect.
You'd like to try out our Coke machine right here. We have the best Coke in town.
She led me to the back of the store. I inserted the nickel, and the door swung open.
Hello, hello. Welcome to Lush Lounge. Quick, let's close the door before the feds see. Have you ever been here before?
No, never.
Okay, well, the first question is, can we trust you?
I think so.
Okay, I'm trusting you here.
And just like that, we were off into another time period.
Here we have all my dead relatives on the wall. They're very happy to meet you.
Dolores led me upstairs where there were 2 rooms for folks to mingle.
Over here to our left, we have the traveling carnival room. We've got some games you can play. We've got the freak show over here on the wall.
And then the silent theater room.
This is definitely the most romantic room in the building. We've got several choices of film. We like to keep it nice and quiet in here for the couples.
But the showstopper of the tour was, of course, the Prohibition Bar.
You want to grab a seat over here?
Thank you. Hi.
Your first time in?
It is.
I'm Lindsay. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm Katie.
I found out Lindsay Parks is the proprietress of the building. She and her husband renovated the house that was built in 1919, just before the Prohibition began.
And we started to really think about the theme of a speakeasy. So my husband, Glenn, he built the bar from a lot of reclaimed wood from the house itself and other projects done in that time period.
Where their signature cocktails would be the star.
We make all of our own bitters and syrups in-house. We don't feature anything on the menu here at Lush that's post-1933.
And because it's the cocktails they're known for, that's exactly what I had to try.
Okay, we're gonna make for you the Havana's Bananas.
She started with bananas-infused bourbon.
We really want the taste of Cuba in there.
Next, some raw sugar.
Demerara's house-made syrup. We use a lot of tinctures and bitters here. This is a scorched caramel one.
Add some ice and give it a swirl.
This is called a julep strainer. We're gonna use that for all our stirred cocktails.
But she wasn't done yet.
Do something a little crazy with this one. We top it with a smoked cricket.
You heard that right, a cricket.
Do I have to eat the cricket?
Well, that depends on what kind of experience you want this to be.
Bottoms up.
And so,
I ate the cricket.
Doesn't taste like much, but it's all in my head. I just ate a cricket.
But cricket aside, the cocktail was delicious, and so were all the others I got to try.
We are going to do 1 ounce of egg whites.
So if it's an experience you're in for, it's an experience you're definitely going to get at the Lush Lounge.
Enjoy.
According to the American Hotel and Lodging Association, leisure and hospitality were among the hardest hit industries of the COVID-19 pandemic. In fact, 86,821. That's how many hotel jobs were lost by the end of March just in the state of Virginia.
It was just devastating.
President of Visit Virginia's Blue Ridge, Landon Howard, said Southwest Virginia saw nearly a complete stop of travel.
There was no one staying in the hotels. Many of the hotels actually laid off the majority of their staffs.
Mountain Lake Lodge in Giles County was no exception.
Cancel, 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 cancel.
General Manager Heidi Stone said the thriving resort became a ghost town overnight.
To see it disappear right before your eyes, it feels like it died.
The sight was hard to comprehend.
This place is meant to have people in it. You know, it's meant to be alive. When you're here, it's like a living, breathing, it's just heavenly.
By Memorial Day weekend, though, heaven had returned to earth.
We kind of went from 0 to 100 miles an hour. It seemed like overnight.
Heidi showed me around the property, 2,600 acres of beautiful mountain landscape. And she explained to me how they've had to adjust in this COVID-19 world.
In a resort like this, it's all about bringing people together. It's always about making connections. COVID is against everything that we try to do in the hospitality industry.
So the staff at Mountain Lake had to adapt to the new way of life, putting out hand sanitizers, wearing masks, building plexiglass barriers, and taking on extra cleaning.
We're standing in the dining room now. How does this space look different now than it did pre-COVID?
Well, of course, we're at 50% occupancy. We literally took a measuring, the 6-foot measuring tape and went in between each table.
Rooms have a 24 to 48-hour window between when housekeeping and new guests arrive. But at a resort like this,
over half of our accommodations are outdoor entry.
There's even more room to social distance between families. One thing Mountain Lake Lodge decided not to do is convert to the keyless entry, where guests get a code sent to their phone in order to avoid interacting with hotel staff.
We didn't feel like that was really the experience that we wanted to convey.
And it turns out that's the experience people want.
They do want to see other people with their dogs and their kids, and everyone is so happy they're just so happy to be here.
So the hospitality industry throughout Virginia's Blue Ridge is making a comeback.
We're hearing hotels now that are running anywhere from 50 to 60% occupancy.
We can't keep up with the phone calls right now. People are wanting to come, they're wanting to stay. They feel like they can come here safely.
Proving that perhaps COVID-19 was about bringing people together all along.
People are resilient.
At Mountain Lake Lodge in Giles County, Katey Roshetko, WDBJ 7.